Welcome to my podcast, What the Fuck, Spirit. If you made it past that name, this is going to be the podcast for you. This is going to be a no holds barred, no bullshit, open and honest conversation with Maria Leggett, and that's me, about all things spiritual. It's time to begin talking in an open and honest way about what spirituality is and what it is not. We're going to discuss all things woo-woo, witchcraft, spiritual, queer spirituality, medium versus psychic, energy healing, light work, shadow work, and any other bullshit that people want you to believe because it keeps them comfortable. It is time for you to grow. Let's go. I can't help myself. Every time I hear that intro, I laugh. That must have been a spirit-inspired intro. So today we are talking with one of my favorite people on the earth. We are talking to Peta Bastian. And Peta is the DIVA priestess, which I love. And I met Peta a couple of years ago doing women's circles. I originally started out, she always laughs about this when we talk about it. I originally started learning how to do women's circles because I wanted to run a really good drum circle. That was it. I didn't want to do any personal work. I didn't want to know anything about all of my bullshit. But instead, Spirit says, hey, we're going to give you this women's circle facilitator who's going to call you on all of your bullshit and not take any of your crap either. And so Peta absolutely challenges me on when I'm trying to lie to myself. She doesn't ever let me get away with it. So I am going to bring Peta on now and let her introduce herself, and you're going to be able to feel her energy the same way that I do. And I hope that you love her as much as I do. Hello, my darling.
Hello, my lovely. Oh my God. Like, I've got tears of laughter with that introduction. Oh my God. That's too funny. No.
I mean, how many times in circle have I said, fuck you, Peta?
Oh, so many. And flipping me the bird all the time. Like, I mean, I just learned to not take that shit personally. I was just like, she goes again. I was like, yeah, she knows it. And when you do this one too.
You know, I talk about that all the time because Tree and I are running women's circles together now. And I talk about that. I'm like, listen, I used to sit in there, and when I was in a women's circle, if I got pissed off, I would cross my arms and just lean back.
Yeah. You were like my because I remember I don't remember the specifics of our very first circle together, but I definitely remember you standing out to me. Do you know what I mean? Like every woman in circle is important to me. And also some women just have a particular ping, you know? Yeah. I was like, she's fiery. This is going to be good.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, and I've told you this before, and it really cracks me up because I remember leaving the first circle and the second circle, and you know, we got assigned our buddies to do our layout with whatever that we had to run our own circle. And I remember talking to my partner, whose name I don't want to bring up because this is a very spiritual thing. And I remember saying to her, listen, I know Peta doesn't like me. And you know what? I just don't give a fuck. It's okay. I'm just going to have to deal with it.
Oh my God, you thought I didn't like you? Oh, that's hysterical. I'm like, I fucking love her. I think she's fire. She's great. Oh, this is going to be good. And you're like, she doesn't like me.
I did. I thought, she doesn't like me, and I'm just going to have a hell of a, just put your head down, Shell, and get through this.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's so funny. And I think, you know what I think? You know, I've experienced that too, right? And I think that it comes to that sister wounding, and you know, and what I'm like right in this moment, what the words that want to come through to explain it feels like when someone sees you so completely,
Mm-hmm.
it's very confronting.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
In a big
And
way.
yeah. And it's, when I talk about that ping, it's like I recognize you at a soul level. Like I see all of you. And,
Yeah.
and so like that part of you, I imagine, was just like, holy fucking shit, nowhere to hide here. She doesn't like me. And I've done it too, right? I've done it too. We do it like to
We do.
keep ourselves safe.
Yes. So it amazes me, like all this time later, and how pivotal and how important of a role you played in my life to get me to where I'm at right now. And, of all the things that I have been through, I have said, and I did an interview with Natasha, and, Natasha and I talked, and I will tell you the same thing that I told her. With all the things that I've been through in the last couple of years, I am beyond grateful. If nothing else, I am beyond grateful for the fact that Tanya created an organization where I could find you, and I could find Natasha, I could find Yumi, and I could find Tree, and I could find other women in that organization that have become people who are so important to my spirituality, to my life. And I will always be grateful for that opportunity and step into thankfulness for that. Because, I mean, you were so pivotal in how I turned out. You had faith in me long before I had faith in me. And you kept saying to me, Shelly, what are you doing? You need to just quit your corporate job. What the fuck is wrong with you? But I stepped in fear and fear and fear. And, we were voice messaging back and forth today. And it was, oh my God, has it really been over a year? And it's like, yeah, can you believe that? So I want you to, that's enough about me. I want to talk about you and how it is that you define yourself right now, and, where you're moving with your business and what's happening with you. I want to know. Tell me.
All the things. Well, thank you.
By
Thank
the
you
way, I
for
love
the
I love your hair. I'm so used to seeing you blonde, and I love it the way it is right now.
Thank you. This is my natural hair that I embraced, I'd say almost 12 months ago. And I'll answer your other question, but I'd love to talk about my hair because it kind of reflects my ever evolving self. And so I remember being with my craniosacral therapist, who I fucking love her. She is so good. And, she really, she actually came into my life when I was walking along the beach with a really, really dear friend of mine. And I was just sharing like all this stuff that was going on in my life, in business, in family, in, womanhood, motherhood. And she was like, babe, you hold so much. Like you hold so much. Who is holding you? And I was like, yeah, wow, that's really interesting. And so I made a commitment to start scaffolding my life with people. And actually, speaking about that, holding someone or holding space, I've got a whole different view on that and expansion of that, which is really around my belief and my experience of being on the receiving end of this, and also infusing it into my work, is rather than holding space for someone, we get to witness someone holding themselves.
I love that.
Because it becomes so much more empowering, so much more sovereign, is so less codependent. Like I think there's such a codependence that can happen in close relationships, whether they're friendships, intimate partnerships, student, teacher, client, mentor, those spaces. And I have been in those relationships. I've, in both roles, and Spirit was just, she introduced me to experience it a different way, because it's really, really necessary that we stop saying we're holding space for others. What about calling on spirit? Let spirit do the heavy lifting. Let spirit come in and hold the space, and you be the witness. You be that reflection and that sovereign witnessing of
Mm.
someone having their process. So back to my craniosacral therapist. I've been seeing her for a while, and I have the most beautiful insights and downloads, because, you know, she just frees up all the energy. And it just really hit me that I no longer wanted to dye my hair. So my hair has always been dark. And, you know, my hair is been like my crowning glory all my life. My hair has been a thing for me. You know, right from when I was a little girl, my dad would brush my hair 100 brushes a night, right? And it was our ritual. It was our thing. And I just felt so loved. And, you know, so it's kind of been this symbol of my beauty. And, you know, I think realizing now that it was more than skin deep. It was like an expression of my inner beauty as well.
Yeah.
You have to excuse me, because I have got the remnants of a cold, and so now my nose has just decided to just fucking leak. So glamorous. Talking about beauty, I got fucking
Love it.
nose.
But we're real. This is what happens to us. It's okay. We're very real human beings. These souls have to live in these skin suits, and they require certain things like tissues for runny noses.
Oh my God. Too funny. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Talking about beauty.
Talking about beauty with snot running.
Yeah. I mean, there's beauty in that too, right? Like, what an amazing function that your nose does.
Nice release.
So
we were talking about your hair and how it was a symbol, right?
So
Yeah.
this beautiful symbol and part of me. And so, you know, I started getting gray hair in my I reckon in my mid 30s actually. And it was interesting because at the time I was a beautician, running my own business, and, you know, like, I'm like, fuck, gray hair, no thank you. And so started coloring my hair, and eventually, you know, ended up in my 40s being fully blonde. And I loved it. But there was just this moment where I just had this clarity of like, no, it feels as though it's another piece of the real me that I'm hiding through dyeing my hair. I really want to just be me. You know, I just want the true essence of me. And so I went to my hairdresser, who happened to be that really dear friend that I went for a walk on the beach with. And I said, we're cutting off my hair. Like, because it was like down here and blonde. I said, we're cutting it off. So we did. We cut it all off. And to like here, we had this beautiful ceremony, and I burnt my hair, and I was like, just, you know, offering it back to the ethers and reclaiming me. And so then I've just grown it out. And it's been so liberating, and it's been really transformational. I thought, like, my ego human self thought that now I wasn't going to be beautiful. Now my hair wasn't going to, you know, be my crown and glory. And honestly, I have never had so many compliments about my hair. I shit you not. Like, and women in their early 20s, their 30s, 40s, men, like anyone, really, strangers, literally will stop me and say, oh my God, I love the color of your hair. What color do you use?
I've gotten that too, even as gray as I am.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh,
right.
I can tell you how to do it. It's real easy. It's called God.
I'm gonna have to try that one. I'm like, I grew it myself. It's my color. So yeah. But I don't know how I even got to that story, but I I think I was going to tell you what I do and who I be.
Yes.
But I think that's a really great metaphor then for who I be is always evolving. And yet, as I approach my 50s, I'm just turned 48. I feel closer to the truest expression of me that ever has been. And so, my journey started out. I went into nursing and I was a registered nurse for quite some time, worked locally, did travel, all that sort of thing. Then I kind of got sick of sick people. Love you. And also got sick of sick people and more to the point, sick of the system. So
Yes.
I went into beauty and became a beautician and ran my own business. Loved it. Loved having the connection with people. And then I took some time off to be in my mothering role and got lost in that. And
Mm.
then went back to my spiritual practice of Reiki and meditation and started doing some healings for people, but didn't really kind of believe in myself at that stage. Like just thought, oh, I don't know if I know what I'm doing. And then took my work online because I wanted to be able to work from home and be available for my kids. And it really then evolved moving into the women's circle space. And, that happened again through a vision. I just had this, I'd never been to a women's circle at all before. I didn't even really know what they were. And women scared the shit out of me. So as if I was going to go to a women's circle. But I had this really profound vision of being healed in a circle of women. And there was a big fire. It was at night. There was a big fire in the center, and there were women of all different ages and nationalities in a circle, dancing and singing, and like almost passing me from woman to woman, and loving me and passing me around the circle. And then the vision ended with me standing literally in the ashes of this fire at dawn.
Like the
And was
Phoenix.
yeah. And so it was so profound. And I was like, okay, universe, okay, spirit, if you want me to, because I heard as well, you need to lead women's circles. I was like, what the fuck, spirit? And yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, if this is my path, if this is what you want me to do, then send me a sign. And literally within 2 weeks, a random email from a random person I didn't even follow said the title was, would you like to learn how to lead women's circles? And I was like, get fucked. Okay, I'm listening. And I replied. And that was then really the beginning of an even deeper journey into, becoming the woman I am today, who I have led like hundreds of women's circles, taught hundreds of women how to lead circles, and then human design came into my orbit and my space because, I think for me, it really helped me see myself more clearly. And when you know human design, my type is a projector, a self-projector. And so projectors, we're very, very good at seeing other people. We're not so great at seeing ourselves. And so being able to understand who I was more deeply was another part of my evolution. And so I started incorporating that in my work with women. And essentially, I would say my work with women has been around them feeling empowered to lead and really step into the fullness of who they want to be. So today, as the DIVA priestess, I'm really, really excited to be sharing this new body of work that is called ceremonial beauty. And it's so delicious. And so what do I mean when I say diva priestess? So The diva, I met her on the top of a volcano in Bali. I went on a retreat and trudged up this volcano, basically having a panic attack the whole time. And but nonetheless, something opened for me in that moment. This was back in 2016, and I felt this presence. I felt this really strong feminine goddess presence, and she gave me the name Diva, and it was an acronym for divinely inspired vivacious action. And she came through as the goddess of the feminine in action. So she was really being a stand for us as women, embodying femininity, embodying our feminine energy, and also our sacred masculine energy, and not discarding the masculine in favor of the feminine, but recognizing, regardless of gender, we all have feminine and masculine energy and quality within us. And so she was like my teacher, and she just wants to create with me and through me. And so we wrote a book together, Diva Leader Archetypes, and delved into that. I went back to Bali very recently, hence why I've got like a runny nose, because the runny nose was the least of my problems, really. And it wasn't a problem. It's all a blessing. My body's been a little slower to integrate all of the upgrades and expansion. So revisiting Bali and reconnecting with the diva. Look, she had me on my knees before I went. And, we were chatting earlier off air, just like I literally was on my knees crying at night and praying. And I don't think I said what the fuck spirit, but it was just like, show me, like I am feeling so broken right now. And but the beauty of that was, in order for me to really be such an open vessel to receive what she has given me, I needed to be cracked open in a whole new way, in like an even deeper way. And
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd necessarily prescribe to needing it to be painful every time. Like, I don't believe expansion needs to be painful every time, but sometimes it is. This one was really fucking painful.
Yeah, I don't
And
disagree with you. I don't think it has to be every time either, but there are beautiful moments in that kind of expansion when it does happen.
yeah. So, yeah, when I was in Bali, I just kept getting these messages all around beauty. And because, I went to Bali as well, knowing that I knew nothing, actually, knowing that I knew nothing, and that I was really open and willing to receive what next steps were, what was my next service and offering to the world as, the diva priestessing the diva's message. And so, as I say, this theme of beauty kept coming through, and I must admit, I was like, beauty, like, how the fuck do I, like, what do I do with that? How do I? Okay, I'm not going to get in my own way. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to keep listening. And then, she dropped the word ceremonial beauty, and this creating inner and outer beauty to invoke that full expression of you as a woman. And I was like, ooh, that feels delicious. And really exploring the power of beauty, and how, and this is a contemplation I'm like sitting with, is what if beauty is the key to manifesting joy, love, abundance, um, and you know, this beautiful heaven on earth. And so that has been my sacred assignment from the diva. She's also given herself a name upgrade. She wants to be, it's divine inspired vivacious alchemy
I love
is, yeah, is where we're going with this. And so that then translates into ceremonial beauty, and really me teaching everything I know about inner and outer expressions of beauty, and cultivating experiences on retreats, and invoking different aspects of ourselves as women.
that.
And a really fun and transformational aspect is the retreats also have a photo shoot. And so
Oh, that's
you,
amazing.
yeah. So you get to, I take you through a process, you know, over some weeks before the retreat. And then in retreat, we do some more, you know, deeper ceremonial practices, and really bring that reverence and sacredness to the beauty within and without, and then embody that and mark the occasion, you know, with a stunning photo shoot. Because when we, you know, like I was saying before, I mean, it is a projected thing not to be able to see yourself, but I think for women as well, there's something really magical when you can look at a stunning image and go, oh, that's me. Like
Yeah.
I see my light, you know, and it's when you, that inner light is shining through. And so I'm really excited that this is my new assignment from the Diva of creating ceremonial beauty. And I can't wait for the ripple effect that this is going to bring. So that was a really long introduction as to what I do. But, you know, thanks for letting me just go with my voice leading us wherever it wanted to
Of
go.
course. Well, I mean, you know how it is. Whenever we have these conversations, Spirit's going to lead it wherever it needs to go.
Yeah.
Because everybody views their spirituality different. What's important to them, what's not important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for me, right, I wish that I loved all the makeup and all the things, but I stopped wearing those like 4 or 5 years ago. I stopped wearing makeup and all the stuff. I totally understand the hair being the crowning beauty, right? Because my hair has always been my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had people compliment me on my hair because I have so much hair and it's so straight and it's so thick. And I am blessed beyond imagination with a ton of hair, and I'm super happy that I have it. But I also wanted it, it's always reflected my personality. So it changes like every couple of months, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just grows with me, does this, does that. And, you know, I've had, for the first time in a really long time, I've had the same hairstyle for like a year and a half. Where
I was going to say, it hasn't changed for a while, has it?
No. So like 3/4 of my head is shaved and the rest of it is permed, because it's not that I don't enjoy my straight hair, but my journey has not been a straight journey.
Mm.
And so my hair, knowing that it reflects who I am and the pieces of me, is that it's curly. It goes in all directions. It's badly behaved.
Oh, that's not reflective of you at all.
Just at you. Don't tell all my secrets. So I love that, you know, I finally gave in. I'm like, you know what? I am going to get a perm. I don't really care. And I have loved it since the minute that Jacob did this for me. And
It suits you. Like it
Thank you.
100% suits you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I feel that way about your hair. Like, this really suits who you are and where you are on your journey. So I love that you've done this with your hair. So I have a question for you. And here's my question. What does spirituality mean to you? I ask this of everybody who comes on, because more for my selfish reasons, I like to hear how everybody sees spirituality, because I've gotten, you know, tons of different answers, and I love it because I'm able to glean something from each piece of it, which means I know my listeners are going to be able to as well. So what does it mean to you?
I love that question. Straight away, what comes to me is spirituality to me is my relationship with God, the universe, spirit, the oneness, it's almost hard to put into words, and it's like a process of remembering my divinity, remembering that light within me. I get to witness that everywhere around me. And so spirituality to me is what's the word? A devotion and a commitment to walking simultaneously in my human body and my soul self, like that synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one is not exclusive to the other. And in fact, and especially with, you know, this ceremonial beauty work, it's really acknowledging that our human bodies are actually an expression of divine spirituality, of divine light. You know, like when we get into the quantum mechanics of it all, and the quantum particles, the electrons that we're made of, and the way in which we get to experience ourselves in that way. So does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I love
Yeah.
that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of your current offerings. What are you doing currently with your business?
Yeah, sure. So, well, the ceremonial beauty, what this looks like is, retreats in different parts of the country here in Australia, and also overseas. So in May, we have the Wild Woman Retreat, which I'm so excited about. Oh my gosh. And I love how, spirit works with me. So it drops images in my head of the like, and when these images get dropped in my head, then I feel it and I become it, like, and I smell it and I taste it, and it just consumes me, and I'm like, ooh, okay, this is what we're creating. So the Wild Woman Retreat is really that's happening in May, and as I say, that is really about accessing that part of us that wants to break free. You know, she wants to be the rule breaker. She wants to lick and snarl and fuck and swear, and she wants to be gentle and soft and sweet and playful. Like, she's wild, she's untamed. There's an untamed part of us that longs to be expressed, and we don't give ourselves permission. So this is what the Wild Woman Retreat is all about. Then we have a Lionsgate retreat as well. And the plan for this one is far north Queensland. And, you know, that whole vibe has like really has a real sun goddess element to it. And all the finer details haven't quite come through, and yet they have. But so that's happening around the Lionsgate. And then Bali, I'm so excited for Bali, is either toward the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And so that is currently what is on offer. And I am really, again, in devotion to how the diva wants ceremonial beauty to be expressed in the world. She's also shown me that I'm going to be, so these retreats are obviously group experiences, and but she is also saying we need to do this one-on-one with people as well who want to create something. So like an experience and an expression, and really connect with a part of themselves that is longing to be seen and heard. So that is, they're my offerings. And, you know, there would have been a time when I would have had like at least 10 different offerings for you. However, another piece of my Bali experience and the breakdown before the breakthrough was really honoring and acknowledging that as a projector, my energy needs to be used in a really specific way, and it is not through overworking. And I am a recovering overworker. And so yeah, that's what I have available now. And also, you know, I listen to when the diva wants us to move. And so these are the things she's given me for now, and these are the things that we're going with. So yeah, that's what I'm offering.
That's beautiful. I love it. So where can people find all of this?
You can find all of this on my website, thedivarevolution.com, or come follow me on Instagram at Peta Bastian. And I also have my podcast as well, the Diva Revolution podcast. And yeah, I would say Instagram is my favorite place to hang out and play. That being said, I also am reimagining and re-engaging my relationship with Facebook and how I connect on Facebook as well, to make that fun and delicious and beautiful. Because, you know, I think, I don't know about you, Shell, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the energetics of the spaces that you show up in and what you feel drawn to. And for whatever reason, to me, it feels like Facebook is there's like a, because it was like a swing away, and now there feels to me to be a swing back. And maybe that's just my experience. I don't know.
So Facebook for me is very odd, just because you have, you know, Facebook knows that they have built a business that is very reliant on social media and people being addicted to their phones, being addicted to their computers and having to watch the feed and all the things. And they also know that they've built this entire, you know, technologically dependent world where if you're running an online business, you almost have to have Facebook in order to have easy, free access to a lot of people. And so because of it, the dynamics of it all have changed, where before I used to hit people's, you know, feeds easily. Now I have to struggle and do much more with it, make sure I'm hitting the algorithms, that I'm doing it the right time of day. And it really just makes it more frustrating for me, because I like to be free in the way that I'm doing shit. So if I want to go live at 3:00 in the morning in my fucking pajamas, then that's what I'm going to do. And if I want to do it at 4:00 in the afternoon wearing an evening dress, which really isn't my thing, but if I wanted to, I could. But you see what I'm saying? And the thing is that you have to hit the algorithm, right? So it's now you have to go look through all the analytics. When are your people hitting it the most? When are you doing this? When are you doing that? But this is all the stuff that you have to deal with as a business owner, as a female entrepreneur who's running things. You have to know, where are your users? What are they doing? How are they doing? And so I actually have some friends with other female spiritual owned businesses that they're leaving Facebook because they've just had it. Because even people who are in your private Facebook groups, you have to engage with that damn fucking at everyone fucking tag.
Tell us what you really think, mate.
I hate that fucking tag, because here's the thing. They developed that to bring people in. But I watch people in my feed go, oh my God, I left every group who did that to me. So do I want to repeat that mistake? No. But how the hell else am I supposed to land in people's inboxes or in their feeds if I'm not doing something to bring them into the group? So it just becomes really difficult that now not only do I have to teach the things that I want to teach, but now I have to tell people, don't forget to like this. So I hit your algorithm. Don't forget to comment on it. So I hit your algorithm. And it's really frustrating. So what am I doing? I am now part of the machine feeding it saying, oh, you have to engage with Facebook. And is that really where I want to continue with my energy, or do I want to feed it into my fucking business?
Okay, good. Good to know.
You asked the question.
I know. Thanks for informing us, Manifester. Fuck.
Yes. Yeah, there's my need to inform as a manifester. I just told you all what I thought of Facebook. And so when this goes live on Facebook as a pre-recorded video, it's probably not going to hit anybody's algorithm.
I was going to say, they're going to be like, that fucking Maria Leggett, we're going to like black ban her. We're going to like block that bitch.
I know. So, I mean, but I have friends who are now developing communities outside of Facebook because they get people engaged. So
Yeah.
I'm literally trying to figure out, where do I, like, my digital academy exists right now on Thinkific, but there's Kajabi and there's Podia and there's Mighty Networks, and there's so many different places to do things. And Spirit's kind of adjusting my business the way that yours is adjusting. So it's just finding a place where we're comfortable. So, I mean, you're starting to engage and get back into all of this. Where are you comfortable?
Yeah, and I was just going to say the same thing. I feel like there's like so many different theories around all of it, and I think it's wise to be across them, right? And then I do feel that picking one platform and sticking with it is the way to go. I do like that Facebook and Instagram talk to each other, so it then is. It's good that way. And also, you know what? I think it's like back to bringing in spirit, helping with that heavy lifting, helping with, this is a really important message and the right people need to hear this and see this. And bringing spirit into the world of social media and having the right people's antennas ping when you have something really important to say, and trusting in that. And anyway,
I mean, social media is a beautiful place when you're trying to reach a lot of people, and some people that you wouldn't be able to find any other way. So I am grateful for social media gods. I really am. But as a solo entrepreneur, it can be difficult at times trying to navigate all that stuff by yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so then it's kind of like, well, how can I just keep this simple? How can I keep this simple? And how can I make this feel like play? And the truth is, sometimes it doesn't feel like play as well. And that's human, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Spirit's bringing to my mind, which I learned this in circle with you, but I would really like for you to share this, because I think this is really important for people to understand that we are in a day and age where it becomes really important for you to be mindful of your words, mindful of your intention. So, and you've said it during this podcast. So I know when you are using the word and instead of the word but. So I want you to explain the same way you explained it to all of us women who took circle with you. Why do you say and instead of but?
I love that question. Thank you. And oh my God, I'm fucking frothing over speaking about this, because your word creates your world, right? Yes. And so, oh my gosh. Okay, to answer your question, it's actually less conscious. It's kind of like just part of my vernacular now to always say and instead of but.
Mine too. You'd be very proud of me.
I like it. Good job. Good job. Well, here's the thing. Saying and creates possibility. Saying and instead of but creates like a yes and gets us away from duality. Saying yes and creates a space of all things can exist, accessing quantum realm and being in the openness and possibility, because we cannot see all of what is possible. And when you say but, you're really cutting yourself off. My belief is, if you're saying one particular point of view and then you say but, you're like, well, here's one and there's the other. But if you say this particular thing and this particular thing, there's unity there.
Yes.
It's really interesting. It's like, and you would know this from your work with Gene Keys and reading all about it, and the Gene Key 2, unity and sovereignty, and how I think it also speaks about it in Gene Key 1, which happens to be in Gene Keys is my vocation. And guess what the city of Gene Key 1 is? Do you remember, Shell?
I do not.
It's beauty.
I love that.
I love it too. I love it. And I love it. Again, this is what came through to me in Bali. Anyway, so the yes and so I think that that's the crux of it. It opens up our mind and our being and our self to possibility and quantum realm. It doesn't close us off, and it also allows for duality to exist in unity. Because does that answer the question? It's probably not how I describe it back in circle days, but
no, I think it's perfect, because as you say it, which I've never seen this before, but I mean, I'm like strongly clairvoyant. So as you're saying it now and you're describing how it works, if I'm saying yes and I'm walking up to a cliff, if I say but, then I just look down and there's this open space where I'm going to fall and I could, kill myself. Or when I say yes and, this beautiful bridge appears and it unites two different sides for yes and. So yes got me to the cliff, but if I say but, then I'm going to fall off. But if I say yes and, then it allows me to have this beautiful bridge that's built just for me to cross and allow my energy the expansion.
Yes. Yes. And do you know what else it does? It creates a bridge for everyone around you that is hearing that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because there's also this space that gets opened up for, particularly, if you're in conversation with someone and they're very strongly in one camp, and you can say yes and share another possibility. You're also creating the option for them to see a bridge. Because I think when people, if you feel shut down, or if you feel discounted, or if you feel unseen, unheard, people are going to, like, walls come up, connections get lost, possibilities get closed down. Whereas yes and feels far more expansive for me in the moment and those around me. So that's the yes and. There's also the fact that in many different cultures, spiritual traditions, teachings, and modern quantum teachings, our throat chakra is the point of manifestation. Like when we can speak it into existence, because it's like sending a frequency into the world of form that it has a resonance. And when you can access the purest expression, and when I say the purest expression, it means coming from a pure heart. Now, a pure heart, I used to have an issue with the word pure. However, I've fallen in love with the word pure, because pure doesn't mean that you've never fucked up, right? Pure
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're fucking holier than thou, and like it's not angels sitting on a cloud all the time. Sometimes my wings get a little dusty, but it's more around always coming back to your heart and reconnecting again. Like when I was talking about what does spirituality mean to me, it's coming back into my heart and reconnecting with that effervescent, ever in infinite light, and remembering, that's the truth of who I am. And then speaking from that space is a really powerful and potent way of having your word create your world. So it's super important, and it's taught in, as I say, like quantum mechanics. It's taught in different I have foggy brain, forgive me. I can't bring them to right now. But different modalities do speak into this, and I just love it. And here's the other piece to it is words hold meaning. So words are just words.
Yeah.
You can just say words. However, it's the meaning we attach to that word, to those words.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power and potency. Yeah. So when, for example, when I was like, oh, why does that word pure irritate me? Okay, I'm going to sit with that. I'm going to contemplate that. What does that bring up for me? What are the meanings I'm attributing to that? Oh, I see that. Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't need you anymore. And no, I don't, that's not the truth of it. And is someone coming to say hi? Is that your husband coming in to say hi to me again?
It is not. So I'm here this is my new office, and so I'm here later than normal. And so it's the cleaning crew coming in to do the garbage cans.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And for those of you playing along at home, Shell and I generally have spoken, and she's been in her home, and sometime her hubby's been there and come to say hi. It's not like we have a secret relationship or anything. It's not like that.
Well, it could be, but it's none of their business.
Touche. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I can't believe it has almost been an hour. I just we could sit and have these conversations forever, really. So before we go, I want you to talk about or think of something that some piece of wisdom, some little ditty, something that you want to share that is very Peta-esque to let everybody know about you. What is it what knowledge, what information do you want to share with people as part of the podcast that we haven't talked about already?
That's a really hard question, Shell.
I'm sorry, love. You're so good at ad-libbing. Know that you'll get it. It's a matter of, do I talk long enough to give you the moment?
As you were speaking, I think the word that immediately popped into my head was devotion. But I've spoken into that, and you said don't say what you've said before. However, I am going to speak about devotion in a different context. And I think this ties in really beautifully to everything we've been speaking about, is in a way of spiritual practice. And I really love like the introduction of your podcast. And again, the permission it gives everyone to really cultivate a spiritual, and I love that word cultivate. It just fucking sounds so silky. Because it's cultivate and craft, and I'm like, do this with my hands, and I've got my fucking cauldron, and I'm cultivating and conjuring and alchemizing. Anyway, that's what happens to me when I say the word cultivate. So I go, ooh. Anyway, cultivating a spiritual practice that feels good and true for you, and it doesn't matter what it looks like to anyone else, you know. And there was a time when I would have been absolutely fucking horrified at being given the assignment to create ceremonial beauty. I would have been so worried about what other people thought, like, oh my God, who is she? She's so vain and nah, none of that even enters my field anymore, because my understanding of what beauty is has come from a devotion to my own spiritual practice and allowing and accepting who I be, how I express, and how I commune with spirit to be that relationship that I'm devoted to. And that is my spirituality. So I feel like, and in saying that, we get to be all parts of ourselves. So I think that's probably my Peter-esque thing, is that, you know, I can look really kind of proper and really, I don't know, people have an impression of me. And then I come out and say, you're fucking kidding me. And people are like, oh my God, she swears? She swears? Oh my God, what's going on? Right? And then and so I feel like just allowing ourselves to express freely is then the key to living freely and being who we are. Because, you know, 1 minute I can be deeply, deeply talking to you about a really raw moment. And then I instinctively know, intuitively know when my, you know, when I get to engage the mermaid part of me to flip up into play. And the power of play is so fucking potent. So I think actually, as I'm saying that, that's the message. The power of play is potent. And I love that they start with the letter P, and my name starts with a P. And I've got this whole fucking thing about words starting with P. I love it. I think I'm going to create a whole oracle deck with words that start with P. I'm not even fucking shitting you.
Amazing. Yes.
I'm not even shitting you. I've actually already started it in one shape, form, or another, because again, this is what the diva wants to create. So the power of play, the potency of play. And how do you access that? Through devotion to your own spiritual practice.
Oh, that's beautiful, Peta. I am so glad. I am so thrilled that you agreed to do this with me, and so happy to see your beautiful face and smiling, and just to be able to share this time with you has been super, super important to me. And I'm just so grateful.
Thank you so much for, thank you so much for inviting me on and creating this space for us to play. And I think you're fucking rad, and I love you.
I love you too. All right. So I'm going to ask you, when I end the recording, I'm just going to ask you to hang out for a minute. So let me hit the end recording. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I am so grateful to you. And thank you to Peta. I love you to pieces.
Bye, everyone. Bye.